Hey, 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 hey. Woo! Nice job, Colorado. Nice job, guys. What a great game. And you're probably not going to hear a ton of negativity from me on this one. Not that you like, it makes me sound like I'm being negative all the time, but I'm not. Woo! Like I'm super freaking excited right now. And there are some things that I would change. This is blasphemy, really, to be talking like this when we just absolutely smoked the wheels off of Arizona 34-7. But there were some issues, right? I mean, we know there were, but at this point, to beat an Arizona team that originally we thought was going to be a contender in the Big 12 title, or at least I thought so, because I thought Noah Fafita, even though they lost a lot of their team last year. And I thought they were going to be better than they were last year. And it turns out that they're not. But we are better than we were last year. And not only that, but I also think this is probably one of the best games that we've played, not just by score, but just in general this year. And it's going to be weird to say that because Sheduer Sanders did not have his best game. And because Sheduer, this is going to be weird too. Guys, you're going to freaking roast me. I just know you are. But, maybe you won't, because I think maybe you feel the same way. Because Sheduer Sanders did not have his quote unquote best game. Okay. He had a great game. Right? But we're used to seeing 450, 400 yards from Sheduer and like an 85% completion rate and stuff like that. We didn't, and zero interceptions. And we didn't see that this game, right? We saw, I'm going to bring up some stats here. Holy mackerel. Hang on one second, guys. I am not even in this shot. Hang on. All right. Here we go. Hey, guys. How are you? I am Chris. I am the host of Alpine Garage Sports, and I'm so excited right now. I don't even know where my screens are. But man, I am so excited about this win. 34-7. Sheduer Sanders ended up with 250 yards passing. We pulled him about 3/4 of the way through the fourth quarter, or halfway through the fourth quarter. And I am proud of that. I am proud of us. I am super, super proud of us, because we don't need to subject Sheduer to any more hits or anything else. We don't need to get him hurt. He's not a huge contender for the Heisman, so getting him those stats isn't a big deal. Getting him extra stats for the draft, again, isn't a big deal, because he just blew Arizona away, right? And it wasn't his best game. We talked about that. So let's get to some stats here. We have 50 people in the chat, and I appreciate every single one of you. If you have not subscribed, remember, like I said before, for some reason, the algorithm unsubscribes you for some reason. So if you would just check to make sure that you're subscribed, and subscribe if you're not, that would mean a great deal to me. But yeah, the Charlie Arvidal hate stops today. I appreciate that. I'm gonna save my one thing for the end of this. All right, I have one thing I have to say in regards to this game from the standpoint of I wish, right? I wish. And I'm going to save that for the end of this broadcast, which isn't going to be very long. So, but where were we at? I'm looking at your comments, and I'm so excited you guys are in here with me. I really am. I'm really, really super excited you guys are in here with me. But we got to do some business while we're here, right? We got to do some business. So let's look at some stats real quick. I've got those queued up for you here so you can see them. Let me get over to them real quick. All right, we're going to scroll up here. We're going to see that Sheduer threw for 250 yards, 23 for 33, which is going to be, I can do the rough math on that. That's pretty easy, but let's get the exact math. That is you're talking 70%. So we're talking pretty vintage Sheduer throwing 70+%. He had 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. those 2 interceptions are basically just crap. Throw them away. I mean, he didn't deserve those. It just happened, and that doesn't say anything about him. Our rushing game, 148 yards rushing. Now, some of that came late in the fourth quarter, but dang it, if we didn't just absolutely try, right? 148 yards rushing. That comes down to Isaiah with 53 yards, Charlie with 53 yards. Now, that was garbage time, right? And most of it was on one run, but I'm damn proud of Charlie. And I'm going to save my one comment for the end. I got to hold on to that. But anyway, his long was 40 yards. He ended up with 53 yards. Dallin Hayden for 35, 6 for 35. His long was 27, so you can kind of see very similar to Charlie. Most of his yards came on one run. Michael Welch, 1 for 8. That's pretty good average right there. That's 8 yards per carry. And then Sheduer had 6 yards on 7 carries, 148 yards rushing. That is a 2-year high as far as I know. That's 2 years, 2-year high in rushing. And what did I say at the beginning of the year? If we run for 150 yards a game, we will absolutely stroke anyone. We will stroke anyone if we run 150 per game. Now, why is that? Why would I say that? Because it's like Pat Shurmur said, this week, and I'm surprised he hasn't said it earlier, and if he didn't, I missed it. Well, then, suck on me. But at this point, it comes down to, for me, Pat Shurmur said, was it Pat Shurmur? He wanted to run the ball this week. He said, we're going to run the ball. We're going to try to run the ball. We're going to intently run the ball. We're going to practice running the ball. Whatever he said, I'm paraphrasing significantly. But he wanted to make sure that we as fans knew that he hadn't forgot that running the ball is a fundamental part of football. And in this particular case, we did. And we ended up with our 2-year high in rushing. And we also ended up with probably one of the biggest wins we've had over the last 2 seasons from the standpoint of just overall score. And the fact that Arizona, even though they're really not what they were last year, they are still good. I'm just going to put it that way. They have Fafita in there. I mean, the dude by himself, Fafita ran for, let me look at Fafita. So they only show him running for 24 yards, but he was sacked like 1 million times. So that 24 yards positive is actually a pretty big deal. But what I want to say in this is, our offense played well, and Sheduer played well, and our running backs played well. The offensive line did extremely well. LeJonte Wester, 127 yards on 8 carries. Let me go back to this so you guys can see this, because my face is not as good as, let's see, what am I doing here? There we go. It's not as good as the stats for this game. Let's look at this. LeJonte Wester right here, 8 for 127. That is a huge number. LeJonte has always been a stud for us since he's gotten here this year, and he didn't stop here. Look at that. Will Shepard, 4 for 54. Guys, that is like 13 yards per catch. That is amazing. Draylon Miller got his first touchdown in this game. What a great freshman for us. We are going to retain him because he loves it here. He had 3 for 18 with 1 touchdown. Travis Hunter, 2 for 17. It may have been, I'm gonna come back to full screen here. I gotta try to keep doing this. Otherwise, I completely forget that I am the host of this show. And sometimes looking at a blank screen is not fun. But Travis Hunter, maybe too early coming back. We talked about that. We didn't talk about that. You and me didn't talk about that. But lots of people talked about it this week. Is Travis Hunter coming back a little too soon? And some people said yes, and some people said no. My thought was, I didn't know. I don't know his injuries, only he does. But with his being on offense, especially receiver, and as much as we throw, our receivers go through a lot of physical toll. And if you're going to be hurt and play, you're not injured in play, but hurt in play, then, receiving role in Colorado is going to be a tough gig for you. And I hope Travis Hunter's okay. Travis, I hope you're okay. We don't want to hamper that, that flip cast that you have there on your bass lures, because I witnessed that, and it's one of the best I've ever seen. So take care of yourself, sir, and hopefully we'll see you in the next game, but not too soon. Not too soon, Travis. Jimmy Horn ended up with 9 yards. Dallin Hayden, 1 for 7 on his catches. Isaiah, 1 for 7. So really kind of just an overall good day. But who won it for us today, guys? We have 102 people in the chat. What group won it for us today? I want to see it in there. I want to see what part of our team won it for us today. Put it in the comments right now. Put it in the comments. I want to see it before I say anything. Before we go any further, I'm about to throw up some stats here. Who's the first one that's going to throw it out there? And I know that the D-line, that's right. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say even more than just the D-line. I'm going to say the entire freaking defense, because they freaking nailed it. NHG, number 1 with 8 tackles. Let me refresh this to make sure I got this completely correct, because this has been a few minutes since I refreshed it. Yeah, Nakai Hill Green, 8 tackles, 8 total tackles. Cameron Silman Craig, who is our leader on defense, 7 tackles. Shallow Sanders, 4. Now, throw in the chat too, what did you think of Shallow's performance today? I was very much refreshed at Shallow coming back in his second game from injury. He looked much better today. Preston Hodge, 4 tackles. Sam Okunlola. Sammy Sacks. Sammy Okunlola. 3 total tackles, but he had 2 sacks on the day, and he looked like a freaking missile on those. He looked like a freaking missile. T-Mac stats. So somebody says, Gerald D asks, what's T-Mac stats? Well, let's go and look here. Let's see. Overview. Arizona rushing, Arizona receiving. T-Mac, 5 for 38. Oh my gosh. So he was shut down by not only, I saw him being covered by Colton Hood. He was obviously covered by Travis for a while. And that, I don't know that that is his low for the year, but I'm pretty dang sure that's his low for the year. And it may be his low for the last, I don't know, good grief, couple of years maybe. But T-Mac was shut down today. Jeremiah Patterson had 31. Chris Hunter had 30. So really, Sam Olsen had 27. So they had 3 receivers all in that 30 range. But that means we actually shut down McMillan, and that's why I said total defense. The D-line did great. We had a few sacks on Fafita, and that was fun. That's really fun. In fact, how many did we actually have? Did we only have 2? Did we only have 2 sacks? Nakai had 1. No, we had 3 sacks. No. That's right. We had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sacks. So 2 from Keaton Wade. Great to see him in the game, by the way. Go Wade. Go Keaton. Dang, that was awesome. BJ Green had 1, looked like a steamroller on that one too. Arden Walker, my boy Arden. Oh my gosh, my boy Arden. 1 sack. Samuel Okunlola, 2 sacks. And NHG had 1 sack. What a dang game, guys. What a freaking game this was. Colton Hood had an interception for 46 yards and again was robbed. He was robbed of another touchdown. 2 games in a row. Colton Hood. Holy mackerel. Thank you, both Hood brothers. By the way, while we're talking about this, not to pull anything negative. This is not a negative thing. I would love to see Brandon out there. I love to see Charlie out there. And you know what? I'm going to release this now. I've been talking to you guys about this way too much. I wanted to see Charlie get his first touchdown. Did you know that Charlie has not scored a touchdown in college football? He's had some great seasons, but I don't think he's scored a touchdown yet. And this would have been his first touchdown. and we didn't get in there. But I know he'll have opportunity this year. Looking at this Arizona game, it's possible we'll have another game like this, and he'll have another opportunity. But Brandon Hood, bringing Brandon out would be awesome as well. He showed up in that, what is that, that public practice that we had, that public practice. I hadn't said a lot about Brandon Hood, and I didn't really think a lot about Brandon Hood. Not saying I didn't think a lot of him. I just didn't think a lot about him because I didn't know a lot about him. But in that public practice, he blew me flat away with his running ability. And so I'd love to see him in one of these games. And maybe he already redshirted. Maybe I missed that. But in any case, Michael Welch in this game, 1 run. I'd love to see him more as well. Gustave did a great job in the running game today. And let me go back to the stats real quick. I want to add this in there just to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. But our number 1 rusher for the day, Rush. Where is Rush? Was Isaiah. Isaiah had 53 yards. Actually, I take that back. That's right. He was tied with Charlie, but really Isaiah was our number 1 back. Charlie came in, helped clean up that win, got a 40-yard run, and really got called out well on Fox. I mean, Charlie got his due, like talking about his Colorado like All-American status and his effort for the Colorado team and the fact that he's a great running back. And so that made my heart swell a little bit from a Colorado guy, from a long-term Colorado guy that likes to see our players that have been here for, 3, 4 years get their due. But Isaiah really showed up for us today. His long was only 9 yards and he had 53 yards. So he was a very consistent back for us today. And if we really stand on this, 148 yards, I'm going to hit everything I can. 148 yards. Yeah, I think I just broke my remote. Whatever it is. 148 yards. 148 yards. I can't say enough about 148 yards. The fact that we won so handily and we showed up in the running game is just freaking awesome. So let's go through some chat here. All right. Joseph Bright said, smoke them. Miss Aaron. Hey, Chris, how are you? I'm doing well, Aaron. I appreciate you showing up. Aaron is an OG Alpine, OGAB, an original Alpine buff, whatever that is. I don't really know. Well done, Buffs. It looks like just a retiree had a little bit of an issue getting that out, but I appreciate that. D-line was a beast today, says Joseph. Uncle Tub is in the house again. We won. Looked sloppy in some places. We did, but an overall good win for the team. And we'll dissect the game a little bit more this coming week and look and see what we can do for our next game that is a little bit better. But a dominating performance nonetheless from Colorado. The defensive stunts were NFL-like today. The defense was on another level today. It's like we came off of that last game and there was a little bit of a taste in our mouth. And the coaches got into this and really came through. Good. So I call out coaching a lot, and you guys know this. I call out coaching a lot because I don't like calling out players as much because I do believe that in most of the cases, especially where we're at now, it's a coaching scheme issue if we're having an issue. The players are just playing and doing what they're told, right? Now, that's not in every case. The quarterback runs the offense in a lot of cases, especially in our offense, because Sheduer has the con. I want him to have the con. He's a smart player, but sometimes we make decisions that are in the best interest of, you know what, I'm going to stop there. We're not always maybe playing, I guess you could say, textbook football, right? So, but overall, we're just like the best team ever, and we have the best players ever. Coaching sometimes is an issue. And in this particular game, the fact that Pat Shermer came out and said, we're going to run the ball, and we ended up with 150 yards. Tells me that he meant what he said, and that means a lot to me. Bronco guy from back from when I was born, Pat Shermer, same as every other Bronco fan, has a disdain a little bit for Pat when he came here. But at the same end, I was looking for a fresh start, and I really liked the fact that I think I knew him from the standpoint of we had known him from the Broncos. And I know in my heart, I knew it in my heart that he had the best interest for this team at heart, and he showed it today. He showed it today. All right, so Joseph said they need to run the ball. I agree. They did a good job there. He was not good today, but did enough. We ran the ball, yes, with exclamation points when we ran the ball. Gerald D says, we are now third in the Big 12. That is correct. So we do not own our destiny in the Big 12. But as long as we can win every game, which is that's our job. Our job, Colorado's job, is win every game. Okay. Now, it is on the other teams, Texas Tech, BYU, Iowa State. I didn't even see what Texas Tech did today. Somebody throw it in the chat. What did Texas Tech do today? And we'll talk about that in a minute. But Iowa State, I know won, and BYU, I know won. They barely beat out Oklahoma State, which means that they're beatable, right? Because Oklahoma State has not been looking good this year. So the fact that somebody said we are number 3 in the Big 12, I don't know if that's accurate, but I would believe it. And if we're not, we're in that top 5. And if we're in the top 5, it means that we just have to win every game, and BYU and Iowa State have to lose their games. I never really assumed Texas Tech was going to run the slate. Not that they're a bad team, but I just, for whatever reason, I'm not connecting with Texas Tech this year. I do think Iowa State is a world beater. And I do think BYU has, I don't know, some kind of thing going on right now, like they do about every 20 years. BYU about every 20 years has a thing. And that thing lasts for a year, maybe a couple of years. And then that thing is over for 20 years. So they're having that thing right now. Someone needs to go in there and pop that balloon. And then we have a shot, right? KSU still got to lose out because we're in a tiebreaker with KSU. So they've got to lose another game, right? Because if it goes into, one team that's undefeated, another team that's lost 2 games, and then us and K-State, K-State's going to win out in this because there's a tiebreaker there. So we want to make sure that is not a part of it, right? So KSU's got to get wiped by somebody. I'm gonna put this comment up real quick. Oh, I didn't even realize I wasn't even on full screen. Hang on a second, guys. I know you don't like it when I'm not on full screen because you'd like to see an old man with his hat on backwards having a fit over Colorado like he's been doing since he was a child. And I understand that. Charlie Offerdahl, the Charlie Offerdahl hate hasn't stopped today. I don't think there's any more Charlie Offerdahl hate because he hadn't been playing in a while. And it's still a thing, right? Charlie still has to get a touchdown. We got to get him a touchdown this year. And this is coming from me that says that we need a team effort and we don't need to be about any individual. So that tells you how much I really want Charlie to. Oh, thank you. Hit the like button, Mama Tia. I appreciate that, guys. Joseph gave us a check. Sco Buffs. Rob the Man Media is in the house. Thank you, Rob. I saw you on the field. And we're both doing lives, and we need to get together, man. So hit me up again, or I'll hit you up, one of the two, and we'll get together. Let's see. Bro, relax. How soon we forget Sheduer is working with a new wide receiver, banged up Jimmy and Travis. It's all chemistry. I believe that is true. Great win, Dano says. Shiloh is not a starter. I don't know. I don't believe that. I do appreciate your comment, though. And I do understand why some people think that. Pardon me. But I do think Shiloh was a starter. And I think that his injury and maybe some other things maybe cloud him a little bit. But there aren't a lot of defensive backs that are really perfect. And Shiloh is one of those guys. But I do appreciate him being on the team. Good job, Buffs. Mama Tia says. The snapper was a little out of sync the first half. That's true. Yeah, it did look a little rough in the first half, but it didn't slow us down too much. Sheduer made up for it. Joseph says, I wish they would run freshman running back Welch more. In my opinion, he's the best back from what I've seen. And I don't disagree with that statement. Micah Welch has a little bit of magic, kind of like I think Brandon Hood has. Just a little bit of magic that we don't see in some of the other backs right now. And so I agree with that statement. I don't know why, honestly. I don't know why we're not playing him more. Maybe it's because, Isaiah is a more tenured back, bigger back. We're trying to really fight for those yards. And he's doing a good job, and obviously Dallin is probably the most seasoned back, especially at a high level that we have. So that's probably why you're seeing them more, obviously. Like the first interception is timing. The wide receiver did not cut the route across. That's good. I 100% agree with that statement. Y'all will never be happy, MJ says. No, we're happy. I'm happy. Minnesota is here. Yes, Minnesota. Great game, just like what coach wanted. Yes, I think that's what a lot of people wanted, including the fans. Lady Cherise says, this was one of the best games for this team in 2 years. I 100% agree with that, Lady Cherise. Remember Colorado sucked for many years prior? I remember that. Most run yardage came in 12 personnel. So I want to, Dano, nice job. So 11 and 12 personnel. We did show that a little bit more. We showed primarily 11 in the run. We did run out of 10 sometimes, but we ran out of 11. And I think they're appreciating the tight ends a little bit more. We gave let me look over here and see real quick on a stat real quick. Hang in with me there. Receiving, Savell Smalls had one catch for 10 yards. He almost had a second catch for a touchdown, but it was a timing issue, and he wasn't able to catch that ball. But Savell almost got his first touchdown today. The fans need to just believe. Well, Lady Cherise, I'm gonna say yes. We need to believe, and I think most of us do believe. But the difference in there's a couple of things here. We can believe, but at the same time, we can be, I guess, critical from the standpoint of when we're not doing the things we need to do, being able to call that out, because the fans are what football is about. If you take the fans out of football, and football is something that is just an internal thing and nobody watches it, it's just team versus team with no fans, right? You can say this about any sport at all. Without the fans, the team doesn't exist. Without the fans, the sport does not exist. I am not media, guys. I've told you this a million times. I don't have a media pass to Colorado football. I've asked for it a few times, been denied, right? Because I'm little Alpine. Don't really have the clout that a lot of media folks have, but I'm actually okay with that because I am a fan first, and I've been a fan of the University of Colorado since 1978, since I was 6 years old, and I got my first Colorado jersey. It was actually a baseball jersey, believe it or not. My first jersey was a Colorado baseball jersey before baseball went away in 1980. And I wore that thing, and I still have it in my closet. I still have that jersey. I wore it as my practice jersey all the way through youth football. And just, it's got so many stitches in it. It's like literally stitched together and held by black stitches. But that's where my love from CU football came. And because I'm a fan, I feel like, and I think most of you do too, that I have a right to say what I want to say about the football team. And it's almost always going to be positive, except for the fact that there are some things we need to fix. In this game, I'm happy. You're not going to hear anything from me today on that. Maybe later, but not now. Great game. No analysis needed. 5-2. No. Go Bucks. I hear what you're saying, but yeah, analysis is needed. I mean, keep in mind that we finally have a team that could potentially go to the Big 12 championship. And so when you're doing that, you can't just throw your hands up and say, hey, we won. Good game, guys. Everybody go home and have ice cream. We got to look at what we did wrong in this game. And there was plenty that we did wrong in this game and shore those things up. And this 34-7 will be something that we will hang on the likes of BYU, for instance, in a Big 12 championship game, or on Oklahoma State in the last game of the year, or on Texas Tech coming up here pretty soon. We could hang 34-7 on some really good teams if we practice what we analyze, right? I think Travis is still hurt. We need to get him healthy for the stretch. I agree with that statement. This game, here's a good question for you guys, and we'll talk about this in another video, but why don't we just get a little bit crazy in this one? Did this game bring Travis down in the Heisman race? Now, some people are going to jump in there and they're going to say, what does it matter? We don't care about the Heisman. Travis needs to help us win games. Okay, I get that. There are going to be people in there that really, really want to see Travis win the Heisman. I'm one of those guys. This guy right here, this guy wants to see Travis win the Heisman for a lot of reasons. I know Travis. I fished with Travis, and I want Travis to win the Heisman. Why? Because Travis is a really good freaking dude, and he's the best player in college football. That's why. All right. Another reason is because if Colorado has its second or actually third Heisman winner, second in the modern era, it's going to do wonders for our recruitment. Like, it's going to just absolutely kill it. In fact, dual purpose players or athletes are going to come to us in droves. And if we have a bunch of athletes on our roster, we can do anything we want to do. We can put them anywhere and use them for anything, right? So, and I know that Coach Prime is really hot on the athlete status, meaning they have the ability to play in a lot of different positions. So that there are three reasons why I want Travis to win the Heisman. All right. But do you think Travis will win the Heisman? I'm really behind in the chat. So I'm going to move forward a little bit. 11 personnel also. CU was the underdog. I know we were a 2-point underdog going into the game, and I didn't place a single freaking bet because I worked today. I was up at 3 a.m. to go to work, and then I was off at 2, and then watched the game, and now I'm live with you. So that's kind of what my day has looked like today. Miss Peggy is on her way, we believe. I agree. One more win, and we are bowl eligible. One more win. I think looking at this game, this is a no-brainer, guys. This is a no-brainer. And I hope I didn't just jinx us. I got to find some wood here. There we go. I took care of that, guys. Who lined up against T-Mac? So Travis lined up against him, but mostly it was Colton Hood from what I saw. So, and Colton Hood ended up getting a pick for almost a dang touchdown again. I love that dude. Like, another one of the Hood brothers that I really didn't know a lot about before the beginning of the year, and then it's turned out to be an absolute blessing for this team. Let's see. Best ability is availability. I agree. Team 1, D-line, easy. Defense. I'm way behind. This is like way behind. Let me get in here a little bit. Domesticles, Geese says defense won it. They gave the offense all the opportunities to win. The team came out for a win, but defense set the tone. Definitely agree that the running backs did well. What's T-Mac's status? He got shut down. Yeah, he's hurt. Say he's hurt. He's not hurt. I don't mean he's hurt. What I mean is this hurt him a lot. Like, he got shut the frick down in this thing. Shiloh should not be a starter. I think we already went through this. Team is better with Shiloh 100%. I agree with that. I think Shiloh is a starter for us. I probably will not waver from that. D-line saved Shiloh from having to tackle. The D-line did do a great job keeping the running backs and, well, the quarterback in some instances. Fafita did get into that backfield quite a bit today, actually. But you're right. The D-line took a lot of the onus in tackling off of the secondary. The running backs were good. I agree. I'm glad they made Travis sit if he's not healthy. Yes. Coming in for that second half would have been a disaster. If he had gotten hurt permanently for the rest of the year, Coach Prime would not have he would not have forgiven himself for, and it's not Coach Prime that's pushing him in there. I mean, Travis is his own man. Travis is like, Coach, put me in. I can play. Travis is the ultimate team player. He will play. If he had an arm amputated, he would have it like tourniqueted and a new jersey put on so that you didn't see all the blood, right? Because he's kid friendly. And then he would go out and he'd catch it with one hand the rest of the game and he would win it for us. So Coach Prime has to be the one to say, you know what, your future is big. This game is not worth anything that's going to do any damage to you for the long haul. And good on Coach. Good on Coach. Let's see. Amazing job. Wide receiver, first round pick next year. Gerald, what did you say? Amazing job on a wide receiver. Oh, yeah. I agree. 100%. 100%. T-Mac is going to be, I don't know. He's going to be drafted next year, but I don't know if he's going to be a first-round pick, but he's certainly going to be drafted. Hope he's a first-round pick. I like that receiver. He's a good receiver. You have to have time to throw the ball. I agree. Hope and pray. See Charlie gets his first touchdown next week. Who is that? Hard work. Yes. Yeah, I want all. It's not just Charlie. I want all of the running backs this year to get a touchdown for the University of Colorado. We already have Hayden in that. We already have Welch in that. We need Charlie in that. We need Brandon in that. And we need Isaiah in that. I don't think Isaiah scored a touchdown yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Joey is an OG as well. I'm so glad we not only ran the ball more, but we're also effective. And the sacks, we created more sacks than Santa days before Christmas. Nice job on that. Very like seasonal too, because we're getting into Santa here pretty soon. In fact, I'm getting into Santa in 2 weeks, guys. And if you want to know more about that, then you need to email me. But yeah, I got an insight on Santa, like big time. Like it's weird. Not that weird, but it's weird. Cash in the center. He's a great kid. I agree too. Charlie for TD next week. I like it. Love Drillon Miller got his first TD. Yes, our freshman who has really done a great job for us this year and was really big when he came to us. Like we were just freaking out that we got Drillon Miller. And then now he scores his first touchdown of many probably for the University of Colorado. And that couldn't be great. Brandon made plays on special teams. I agree. He did. Brandon, you can see shows up when he's on the field, he shows up. Colton nearly got his pick 6 today. He almost got 2 in a row. I know, I felt bad for him too, but he's still a young guy and he's got lots of time and this is good for him. Shello had a great game today. I agree. He really made up for his last games. Michael Welsh should be the starter. Colorado was physical. How about Baylor blowing out Texas Tech and Lubbock? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I did not see this today. So Texas Tech blew out Lubbock. I need to look that up, and I will here in a minute. But that's awesome. So that's why we're third. So that's good. Thank you very much, Gerald, for bringing that up. Because I'm not full-time and because I work more than full-time, I don't get to see all this all the time. Welch is being eased in. He's injured. Okay, that's good news. Or I should say it's not good news, but that's new news. Micah's nursing a hamstring injury. Sheduer actually running lately as a welcome addition. KR, I always appreciate your comments, KR, because that I agree with almost everything you say and every single time you make a comment. I love a physical Sheduer. I am not worried about Sheduer getting hurt. Sheduer is like a tank, right? He's been out before. He's been injured before. We saw that in the Utah game last year. But I would rather see him physical and us winning than see him tentative and us losing. I'll just put it that way. Plus, in the NFL, he's going to have to show his toughness. And I think this did it today. I think he showed his toughness today. I got Demescles says, I got receipts that on this channel, Augustev shouldn't have been the starter and our best running back. Him and Welch, great 1-2 punch. Yes. If Welch not injured, he runs for over 100. It's always a great day when Bama loses. That's right. That's right. It's always a good day when Bama loses. I am on that train as well. I was a big, and I still am a big um, Alabama coach. Dang it. Yeah, like everybody is. I'm a big old school Alabama coach fan. I'm not an Alabama fan. Not even in the least am I an Alabama fan. And now that OU is in the SEC, even though OU is doing terribly this year compared to what they should be, I'm still an OU fan over anything else. Dollar Bills over anything else in the SEC. I'll put it that way. Dollar Bills says, great game. Now get ready for the next game. Team needs to stay healthy and work as a team. I agree. I think this game plan going into our next game is going to be good. What up, Alpine? Mo says, what up, Mo? Wish we'd play more games, night games. About to get cold here. That's right. In fact, this morning, we didn't have a freeze warning, but we came close. But we're getting pretty close to our first snow, so it's going to snow here pretty soon. And I'm looking forward to that, actually. Let's look at Lamonius Craig. He left us CP. All right, let's look at Lamonius Craig real quick. Let's bring this up. Let me get my screen up here. Hang on, guys. I want to be dramatic about this. I love Lamonius Craig. Don't get me wrong. You know what? I don't think. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right. So in receiving, he didn't catch a pass. Lamonius Craig did not catch a pass in this game. I, for whatever reason, thought he did, but he did not. Wow. Okay. So there you go. That was what that comment was all about. That's what that comment was all about. Let's look at Lamonius Craig. He left us CP first year, right? Yep, that's right. Brian C says, APC Charlie Run, need that for a study. We do. Yes. Colorado is a good away team. I agree. Yes, Craig left after the spring game. Go Bucks. Baylor blew out Texas Tech. Tech lost. 59-35, Baylor won. 2 minutes left. They got scrubbed. Cincinnati lost 2. Tech lost. Scrubbed. Matt Rule got outcoached big time. Matt Rule, he got a big old fatty right in the keister. Man, that was a tough loss for Nebraska. And I'm not going to say that I'm crying for him or anything, because I'm not. But, man, you got beat down like a – what did you get beat down like? I don't know. I got to watch my words here. I'm a family man. I don't talk like that. But, dang, I love to see a good beat down, especially on a Nebraska team. Need KSU to lose. That's right, to West Virginia. That is true. KSU is our tiebreaker. Really, we need them to lose first. And then we need BYU and or Iowa State to lose. They both don't need to lose, but one of them needs to lose twice. So, but right now, looking at their schedules, if they keep playing the way they are, man, we need a blessing. We really do, guys. Iowa State, the most balanced team. Keep telling yourself. Telling you. West Virginia will beat K-State tonight, and UCF will somehow upset Iowa State. UCF is due. I don't care if both of them lose, but one of them needs to lose twice. Let's see. Larry, BYU is leading Texas Tech 59-35 right now. So that probably doesn't look like a good one. It's Baylor, not BYU, but spell check is horrible. Okay, good. Let's say I have that looks like a bunch of buffaloes. That's really freaking awesome, Switch. VHF says Okie State changed QBs and now looks good. He got hurt in the game. If he didn't get hurt, I think OK State would have beaten BYU. Yeah, Oklahoma State is one of those teams that is – it's a quarterback team. And if the quarterback sucks or if the quarterback gets hurt, the team loses. If the quarterback's good, they will win every single game. I believe that about Oklahoma State, and that's from the 80s. Okay, that's from the 80s on, I believe that. Let's see what else we got. Um, Brett says Micah got a hamstring injury. Welch, Welch got a hamstring. Um, bet Arizona coach is catching all kinds of crap for that onside kick blunder. I agree. Yeah, Arizona has this is their year, kind of like our year was last year. This is going to be their year. First year coach and really good quarterback. Everybody expects more. It didn't happen. How does that sound? How does that sound to you? That sounds a lot like last year for us. And that's what they're going. That's what they're going to have to go through. They're going to be a good team in the long run. I believe in their coach. And I think that, recruiting is still going to be good for them. So I think Arizona's going to bounce back in a few years. We just don't want to bounce back too much. Offense got a little sloppy in the second half. Definitely could use, but we were in trash time at that point. We were in garbage time. So I'm not going to really look at anything that happened like fourth quarter on and really give it too much because there was a fourth down, play that we don't want to talk about. I'm not going to talk about that because we were ahead by so much. We can play with the ball a little bit. So I'm not going to go there. UCF is leading Iowa State 7-0. Wonder how many Arizona recruits are calling up CU now. Laugh out loud. I agree. Yeah. So they had one of their big recruiting weekends, Arizona did. And so we're getting a lot of phone calls right now. There are a whole lot of our recruiting guys that are really busy right now answering phone calls. In between the celebration, that is. Press game presser is about to go live. Let me see if I can pull that up. Give me 1 second here, guys. Let me see if I can pull up that post-game presser. And if we can, I will actually put that on here. And if not, then it'll be what it is. Let's see. Post-game press conference. That's Baylor. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm sure it's in there. I'm probably going to get off here anyway, so you guys can go and see that. We have 133 people in the chat right now, guys. I truly appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to do a couple more here. It looks like that presser is already over, so it's going to be something that you can watch here in a minute. I graduated from high school at Fairview, which is the second Boulder High School. First Boulder High School. Let's put it that way. In 78, laugh out loud. That's pretty funny. Sco Buffs, hats off to the defense. Is Hunter hurt? Hunter's hurt. I don't know that he's injured, but they obviously pulled him out of the game because they didn't want to get any more hurt. Fans can believe all they want to, but the team does not play well. They lose. But Colorado played very well today. I agree. Yes, the best ability is availability. He isn't winning if injured. Yeah, he isn't winning the Heisman if injured, KR. I believe that's what you're saying, yes. Rico says UCF is going to come through the huge upset. I hope so. We need Iowa State to lose. Honestly, I was kind of hoping – I didn't think Iowa State was going to lose too much. I was hoping BYU would lose out a couple of times and we would get the nod for the Big 12 championship if we won out. No, we can't be missing playing time. I wish I could place bets, but it's illegal in Minnesota, really. Great win, Scope Buffs, ODub says. D-line did their job because Shallow didn't have to worry about the run. Your safety could never be leading tackler because he's the last line of defense. I don't know. A lot of safeties are the number one tacklers on their defense. So that actually wouldn't surprise me too much. They have more of an ability to key on a single runner than any of the defensive linemen do because they're all in basically quarters. They've got a quarter of that line. And once a running back hits that line, those quarters are done unless they can run them from behind. Augusta has scored. Good. Isaiah has scored 2 Ds. Okay, that's right. Cash Cleveland, communication, Cash Cleveland. A lot of you guys loving Cash Cleveland, so do I. Let's see what else we got. Colton Hood solidified his playing time for the rest of the season. I hope so. I hate the second interception by Sheduer. I do too, but let's not get wrapped up in that too much because he had a good game and still his touchdown TD ratio is insane, and meaning that it's good, and that his interceptions didn't cost us this game. So that's good. They're just incidental. You could call them collateral damage from a win like this. Greetings from Houston. Hey, big dog, did I call a blowout? You did. You called a blowout. You did. Yes. So, yeah. Who was that? That's right. Lafosh says, did I call a blowout last week? Yes, you did. Would love to see Brandon Hood get some carries. Me too. I'm so happy Nebraska got smashed. Charlie led the team in rushing yards. He tied Augustave with 59 yards rushing. Dang, Texas assistant, I got upset today. Sheduer, 2 INTs, beat down. What is that? Beat down like a piece of old leather. Cincinnati won. So I'm going to go all the way to the end here, guys, and work my way up real quick. D-line, fast and in harmony. Belt to ass. I can say that. You don't have to put the asterisks in there, Adrian. Defense as a group won the game. 100%. Good game. I like seeing multiple players finally get the game and contribute. Watching the team from UK. Enjoy the game. LC, welcome. K-State, West Virginia tied 3-3. So on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. There's a lot of football to watch tonight. Georgia is playing tonight. What is that? Georgia, Texas. Golly, why am I forgetting that? That's going to be a great game, guys. Obviously, we got the West Virginia game today as well. We need West Virginia to win that game. So let's go and do that. Plus, you got the presser to watch from Coach Prime. I'm sure there's not going to be a whole lot in there other than, we did really great today, and I'm expecting that from Coach. Let's celebrate the win and have a good time. And you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Subscribe. Check your subscription before you leave and make sure you like this video. And I'll be back more this week. We'll talk about the next game, and we'll kind of air out this a little bit, but there's really not a lot to say. We're happy with the win. We ran the ball for 150 yards. Defense played freaking lights out. That's it. Let's go. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.